Hi, I'm Trey Brown with the NFL Tomorrow podcast, and today we're going to discuss the NFL playoffs and who do we think is going to make it to the Super Bowl, and who's going to be Super Bowl MVP, and who's going to win the regular MVP in the league. So, first, I'd like to ask you, who do you think is going to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC?
That's actually a good question. If I had to decide, I think it will be. Actually, that's actually a really good question. Can't even think of an answer.
Okay. Well, I'll send it to you now. We can come back to you later.
Hey, what's your name again? Trey.
Trey, yes.
Hi, Trey. Thanks for having me on. It's really excited to be in this podcast today. I've been listening to you guys forever, and it's just really exciting to be here. I I don't think. I think that I actually really like the Ravens' chances. I'm excited about the game later today. I think they're going to make it all the way. I think they're going to make it look easy until they get to the big game, but it remains to be seen.
I don't agree with that. I since the beginning of the season, every year I say it. I think the Bills are going to do it this year. I really do. It's their year. Start 6-6, you end 11-6, and then they've cruised through the first game, but that was against the Steelers, so that was kind of free. Um,
I personally think that the Ravens' defense is too tough for other teams to handle, especially with them being first in points per game allowed. So I think that them with the lethal Lamar Jackson will cruise over the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl.
Don't forget how good the Bills are at totally blowing it at the last second. It is always fun to watch. All my buddies out in Buffalo, oh man, they get so angry every single time. I can't wait to watch that
it's
happen
going to be
again.
different this year. It's going to be different this year.
Yeah, but with the Ravens, they stay tight on defense. They have an amazing wide receiver, a tight end that can run really
If
fast.
he plays.
And then we have an amazing QB, Lamar Jackson. So we really have a good roster. The linemen, they know how to protect the QB, and then our defense, can get a few interceptions, turnovers, and can get some sacks.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens' defense is definitely something to be scared about, although I will say, like, with the Bills and honestly every team but the Ravens right now, have a lot less to lose. The Ravens are known to have a bad playoff track record. Lamar's 1-3 or something, and this is their like prove it year for Lamar Jackson to prove that he belongs in the NFL playoffs. And I think that especially for the Texans, they're playing with house money. They should not they have a rookie quarterback. They were the second worst team in the league last year, and now they're in the divisional round after beating the best defense in the league.
Yes.
So I think that brings up a really good question. If you're looking at the game that's coming on tonight between CJ and Lamar Jackson, like how much do you guys think the stress, the pressure of coming in with all these expectations on Lamar Jackson's point versus CJ Stroud, like you said earlier, playing with house money, like how much do you think that plays in as a factor into who really is going to win this game?
I think that it plays into a factor more for Lamar Jackson because he's experienced failures in the playoffs already, so he has much left to prove and to silence the doubters who don't think he can make it to the Super Bowl and prove he's the best quarterback in the AFC. And for CJ Stroud, as a rookie, I feel like he's overachieved, and this could be a stepping stone for him in the future and will help him succeed further in the NFL.
He gotta prove himself.
Yeah, I mean CJ Stroud just a week ago against the Browns, people were saying, "Oh, he's a rookie against a stifling defense," and then he crushed them. And I think this is a very similar narrative to what we're seeing today with Baltimore. I mean, stifling defense. I mean, pretty good offense. I think the Ravens are a little better than the Browns on offense, but defensively, I think the Browns were just a better team. I mean, they had probably the best defensive player in the league in Myles Garrett. Great secondary with Denzel Ward and company. And I mean, they just got torched. I don't know what it was. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever it is, it's incredible, and I think they're going to keep rolling.
You guys are all insiders, and so you guys know so much about what goes on behind the scenes in these games. As a fan, I'm used to just sitting on the couch watching these guys, just watching the expressions of the faces on the quarterbacks. Like, I know when I was a kid growing up watching Donovan McNabb, like, if he was smiling, Eagles were going to win that game. If he was frowning, if he was crying, if he was throwing up, Eagles those chances go way, way down. I feel like Lamar Jackson, he's stepping up into this game. That pressure that bears on his back, like you said, he's worried about going to the playoffs. He's worried about, he's worried about proving himself on the big stage. Like, that pressure is hard to play through, man. Like, to get ready, to get your game where you see yourself winning, you know you're gonna win. It's tough. It makes it harder to win.
It does.
CJ Stroud, he comes in, he wins, he loses. Everybody thinks he's amazing no matter what. Oh, what a more fun way to play.
Right.
The Eagles run was the same kind of way. What was Kelsey's line? Yeah.
All the eyes. I don't know what his line was. I don't know what you're referring to. All the eyes were on the Eagles to win. I mean, you win the NFC, you win 14 games, you get Jalen Carter. Like, you don't really lose anyone. The squad's still there. I mean, yeah, you have new coordinators, but
Yeah, this year when they blew up in 2017, Kelsey's like, oh, nobody likes us. We don't care. Like, we're underdogs. They're wearing the masks. They're having a good old time on the sideline.
Yeah,
it's just an easier way to play.
Yeah, the roles reverse. Now let's move on to the next topic of who do we think is going to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC conference.
Ravens has a good chance.
the Ravens are on the.
I think they have a good chance.
In the AFC.
Yeah.
I know. Who's going to be playing them?
I think that this is a question that there's two answers that I have. It's the answer that I want to believe and the answer that I think it's going to be.
The Eagles already lost, man.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah. But I think I'm sure basically every other Eagles fan have just a big hatred for two teams. The Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. The Cowboys, that's obvious. But the 49ers, in the NFC Championship last year when we smoked them, they would not stop complaining. It's not just the fans, it's the players. Deebo Samuel called our whole team trash for no reason. And thought it was like a dirty hit by Hassan Reddick. And it just, oh wow, they cheated, they're trying to hurt him. It was like a normal strip sack. I don't know. They were getting killed anyway. And so I really don't want the 49ers to win. With that being said.
It is not our fault they ran out of quarterbacks.
Yeah, really.
They just couldn't handle the pressure.
They couldn't.
Lost before they even started.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, they weren't winning anyway. We were the best Eagles team that's ever been in.
Not this is on topic, but man, how much fun was it watching, even as we were sliding into disaster, how much fun was it watching the Niners, having a rivalry that we didn't even care about? Like, when they watched that game, they're like, we beat the Eagles. The Eagles we beat ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yep, as the 49ers game was ending, the Eagles players were walking off the field, and in that giant fight as well where, Big Dom got whacked for no reason. The Eagles players, they're not even fighting them. They're not even letting this be a rivalry. They're just leaving. They're like, okay, good for you. Great job, guys. You're really getting it done here. And then the 49ers players were all talking trash, and then the Eagles players consistently were asked about, they asked James Bradbury, what made Deebo Samuel say you were trash? He was like, I don't know. It's not really my problem. And they kept starting back and forth that the Eagles just didn't engage in, and it's just pathetic that the 49ers and their fans just keep trying to do this, push this narrative that we're rivals, and we've owned them.
So how's that for an answer to who's going to win the NFC?
What about the AFC?
AFC, I think it's going to be the Bills. And the NFC, what I was getting at, I don't want the 49ers to win. I would be thrilled if I'm wrong, but I just don't see
So who do you like, the Niners?
I wouldn't say but I think that they're the best team. If it's not them, I think it's going to be the Lions. I mean, I just don't think the other teams have the firepower. The Bucks, they're not that good. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They beat a fading Eagles team, and they were 9-8. They're just not that good.
It's fun. It's fun to watch a team like the Lions make it all the way.
Yeah, it's good for the fans in the city. I think Jared Goff, he took a step in the right direction since coming to Detroit. And like he said, I don't think there's much firepower in the NFC left, so the Lions have the best chance of knocking off the 49ers if all things go to their plan. But personally, I think the Niners are just the best all-around team in the AFC and the NFC. And the only way they can lose is if they beat themselves and have too many turnovers on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
which is likely.
I think it is. I mean, you got a young quarterback, Purdy. He's so great. Everyone loves him. Oh, he's the last pick in the draft. That's so cool. That's fun. But then you gotta think about, he's a young guy, and he was getting very flustered at the beginning of that NFC Championship game last year, and that was the first real. I mean, that was the first D line he's faced that overpowered his O line just consistently. Hassan Reddick, Fletch, BG, Javon Hargrave. It was
Fletcher
just
Cox.
he's so good. They were just getting by, and it looked like he wasn't in his like little calm, relaxed state where he has 18 years in the pocket. He was like flustered. He was scared. He did not look like a cool, calm, collected guy that everyone was making him out to be. And I think that's going to happen again as he faces better defenses, better teams.
Yes. So with the Packers, the key to being the 49ers was to cause Brock Purdy pressure so that he can, make inaccurate throws and force him to not be in the calm state like you had said.
Can we just talk about Brock Purdy for a minute? What was it about that guy that turned him from
Last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft to all of a sudden being like one of the top guys talked about? Like, what did everybody miss?
Well, I think one of the things that really shaped him, the best part about him, is the team around him. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it because he's the only guy on the 49ers who I respect, but, come on. If you gave any quarterback, Sam Darnold excelled in that situation. Sam Darnold. If you give every quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams protecting him, Deebo Samuel, who I hate, but he's good, let's be real here, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle as your third or fourth weapon, Jalen Hurts would win the Super Bowl every year with those. I'm sorry. He just would. And if you gave Patrick Mahomes that roster, it would just,
Wouldn't be fair.
It would not. Yes. Of course, Patrick Mahomes gets paid so much that roster wouldn't be possible with him, but that's a different story.
So, Brock Purdy is more so of a system QB, you're saying,
and
needs. I agree with that because I feel like, with such a good team around him, he doesn't have to worry about so much responsibility of being perfect and
like Lamar does.
Yeah, with good system around him
and great coach.
Yeah.
It goes the other way too, though. I mean, how many guys would you point at that would be like, that guy is a great quarterback with a hugely winning season and a terrible cast?
CJ Stroud.
Are they that bad?
They're not good. I mean, last year they got 3 wins, maybe 4 wins. And, this team is not that different. They were projected to get 5 wins. And CJ Stroud, everyone expected to be a project guy, comes in right away and just starts winning. I don't know
what's he doing? What's he doing right?
I mean, he's making the reads. When he's under pressure, which unfortunately for him is every play, he's staying calm in a way that Purdy is not to me.
I think he did a self-check.
So what you're saying is it's not too early to start comparing him to Tom Brady?
I don't.
I wouldn't go that far yet, but
I wouldn't. I mean, if they win the Super Bowl this year, I don't know. That's not. I mean, it's hard to say that he's gonna win 6 Super Bowls because he's probably not, because that's ridiculous. But
at least 6.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a Bill Belichick with him. But
all right. Well, after he torches the Ravens later today,
I hope so.
Maybe we can come back and have this conversation again and have a different opinion.
He's Tom Brady, guys. If he wins today, he's Tom Brady.
Yes, I think this will further cement his outstanding rookie season with the win today against the AFC number 1 Ravens.
It would be a sight to see if they do.
Hey, but I do have a question. Who do you think will be the MVP for the Rookie of the Year?
The Rookie of the Year, it's got to be Stroud. I mean, I just don't think. On the offense, it's Stroud. On the defense, it's a little more interesting because people are saying different stuff. So I think, and I might be a little biased, that Jalen Carter's going to get it because he's he's a touchdown.
Yeah, 50
and a bunch
pressures,
of
6 sacks as a rookie. I think he's one of the best, interior defensive linemen as a rookie. And, further in his career, I think he could reach Defensive Player of the Year potential. So, he's been outstanding as a rookie.
Maybe some MVPs for Jalen Carter? Probably not. But it could happen if he gets 100 sacks.
Yeah.
Maybe in his second year.
Do they ever give MVPs to defensive linemen?
Lawrence Taylor was the last one. So. And he was an edge rusher, to be fair, not a D-tackle.
So LT and then Jalen Carter's next?
I mean, yeah.
I like that prediction.
Hey, but how about this? Who is the scariest player in the NFC? Who's the big guy?
Who would you least want coming after you as a quarterback when you're standing out in a Hail Mary?
I mean, I think
there's a lot of guys that I would not want to be flattening me.
Jordan, I mean, if I just have to run into them, I would not want to run into Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
Of course, it wouldn't be the worst because I'd probably just bounce off him. Is like big, like little. Like he's gotta be like he's.
Yeah, you want to find some. Yeah, the scariest
he's
would
a
be less
big,
elastic.
Big guy.
He's big. He's fast.
He's strong.
He knows what to. He knows how to read. He
He's
knows how
been-
to get it.
Great.
Yeah. But I think
Although, really, I think Nick Bosa. I mean,
Yeah.
Nick Bosa.
athletic specimen.
He's a beast. Like Joey Bosa's good, and all, and Nick Bosa is just better.
Yeah.
It's like a revamped version of Joey. It's just a little more talented and a little better and a little smarter, and
Yeah.
he's just insane.
But me personally, I think Aaron Donald. I mean,
yeah.
people
Yeah,
still
forgot
forget
him.
about him because he has been putting up the numbers, but he's still generating a lot of double teams because of his, physical force that he uses to rush quarterbacks. So I think he's still.
Yeah,
up
absolutely.
there.
I think Aaron Donald running at me. I'm not sure I'm surviving that. I'm sure I'm not surviving that actually.
How many human earthquakes do you think you would make it through?
Probably 0. I guess.
Some big guys out there.
Yeah, there is. I've been, even when playing in high school, there's some big guys, and I've definitely been laid on by large people. Nothing like Aaron Donald, I'm sure.
Some
But
of
it
these high
hurts.
schoolers has me thinking: Are they just born big, or are they just a test subject?
I don't know. That's a good question.
'Cause,
I
I
mean-
mean, I see 10th graders
Yeah.
look like that they're in their 30s thriving.
Yeah.
Which is really had me thinking.
How?
Right. Like how are they do? How
What? Yeah.
do they possess?
Yeah.
I'll
What?
say-
Yeah.
I'll say-
What
I'll
are they
s-
eating for breakfast?
I will tell you, like, there's a guy on my like high school team that he's like I think a junior in high school. He's well over 250 pounds, and if you see his diet, you're not gonna be too surprised. Like he eats. I feel like one day at practice, just at practice, in like a 6-hour practice, he ate like 2 whole pizzas during
Yeah.
practice. I don't even know when or how. We were doing stuff the whole time, and then you just get some pizza somehow. I don't even know where it came
He
from.
didn't get a show for that.
No, I mean he did.
But who's gonna do anything? He's 250.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We made it all the way to Super Bowl. I think we got Ravens and Niners is what it looks like.
No, Bills and Niners.
Bills and Niners.
Bills and Niners.
All right.
Bills
Who's
win.
taking it?
Bills.
Gotta
Who's,
see.
who's taking the trophy home?
Buffalo Bills. It's time. It's time. They've lost so many. It's not happening again. It better not. If I was a,
It's probably gonna happen again.
it's
Yeah,
probably gonna
I
happen
mean,
again.
they're-
But I don't want it
he's
to.
still
I
down.
believe in the Bills. I do it every year, and
So
I'm
it's
always
next
wrong.
year.
It's
Yeah.
this is their year. They went from 6-6 to 11-6, 2 seed, in a game over the Dolphins. They're heated rivals. That must feel good, obviously. Beat the Steelers, who, let's be real, should probably have not been in a playoff spot. But credit to them for being in a playoff spot and
Hey
getting
man,
destroyed as
there's no shame in that. Eagles have slipped into plenty of playoff spots.
they have. Yeah, and have not won a Super Bowl until 5 years ago. But yeah, they crushed the Steelers. Although the Steelers, they made it more interesting than everyone thought they would. So that credit to that.
All right, so let's go around. Who you got? Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Got the Bills. I
All
really
right,
do. I
Bills.
shouldn't,
Who you
but I
got?
do.
I got the Ravens. Personally, I think their defense is the best in the league, and I think they can, cause many turnovers in the playoffs.
So I got the Ravens. They really just have a good roster all around. Good offense, good defense.
Well, call me a super fan, man, but I'm still pulling for the Eagles.
That's
Yeah, it's-
Yeah,
You
they're,
wanna
they're,
sign us off?
it's double elimination now. Actually, I just heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to NFL Tomorrow, and thanks for enjoying us and having a good time listening to us.
I hope you guys have me back sometime.
All right, yes. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you for
Thanks.
coming.